for having
yeah.
me.
Oh, no problem. So Troy had an accident after he shot a doe, right, Troy?
Yep.
Um, Involving a knife in his leg.
Yeah,
You want to take take it from there?
yeah. So it was December 3rd. It was downpouring. It was windy. So hey, I was gonna go hunting. So I went across the road, and so I go up to the pines and everything, kick a whole bunch of deer up, and got into the acorns and acorn trees and everything. And so they made a big circle back to a stone quarry, and I seen them. They drop over the bank there, and so it's like, all right. So I cut around, walked down the logging road, and I caught up to them, and the doe was probably 80 to 100 yards away, and I shot. She dropped, and I get up to her, and I'm a decent sized doe, and so I get everything, take my bag off, put my gun against a tree, grab a knife out. I'm on a hill on a slant like this, and so she's on her back. I put her leg around my left leg and her right leg around my right side and everything. And so like you usually cut a deer, you pull the top up and you go underneath the hide there, and well, the skin got caught on my edge of my knife, so I give it force. I went like that, and my knife stuck me right at my kneecap, and I knew it was bad. It was air. Like all I heard was air, and I'm like, oh. So I stood up, pulled my pants down, and I could see like my meat, muscle, everything, and blood
How
just
deep
started.
did the knife go in?
That was about 2 inches, and so I stood up, pulled my pants down, seen the blood and everything. I'm like, oh boy, and I started like freaking out, and I was like, oh. So I pulled my pants back up, and I knew where I was, and I started like panicking. And I had nothing to tie it down. And I was like, oh, crap. I remember I have an old dog leash that I just dragged a deer out with. I tied it around my leg and started walking. I had to climb up over a log, and I sat down, and I got all lightheaded and everything. And I was like, I got to call someone. So I called the wife and said, can you meet me at the road? I just stabbed myself, and the blood just pouring down my leg. And she's like, nuh-uh. I'm like, yeah, I'm being for real. Meet me at the road. So she met me at the road, and we sent it to the hospital, and it was pretty bad. I called my parents. My mom's like, you got to call 911. You're probably going to get airlifted out. I was like, no, just take me to the hospital. I'm all right. So
Do you have to tourniquet it?
yeah, I tied the dog leash around my leg, and had to make a little handle on it because I couldn't bend my leg because it hurt so bad. And when I was just dragging my leg, and got to the hospital there, and when they pulled my pants, they pulled my Long Johns of pants all off. You could just see the muscle stuck on the side of my Long Johns. It was pretty nasty, and the blood was just pouring out. And
Yeah.
There were some pretty graphic pictures, but I don't think we can put them on
yeah.
the site because we'll get demonetized.
Yeah, there were some pretty bad ones. But this one isn't too bad. Sorry, I should warn everybody if you're squeamish or anything. This one isn't bad.
Nice.
But yeah, this doesn't do it justice though. Some of the other pictures you had were pretty rough. I'm like, golly, how far of a walk out did you have whenever you?
It was about a mile and a half. Altogether, I walked. It was like 3 miles. I just walked. Pretty much what the deer did is a circle, kept on circling. So altogether on the Onyx hunt there, it was about 3 mile walk that day. But from the stone quarry where it happened, it was about a mile walk up and over hills and stuff like that. But
yeah, what did the doctors have to say about it? Did they say anything about like how much blood you lost or how?
Oh, they didn't say anything about the blood or anything. Like I was like all worried about me getting sent away, had to go in surgery and stuff like that, and so like they wrapped it up for about an hour. They left a bandage on it, and then they came back and he stitched it up in the corner there to get the blood to stop, and then he wrapped it in again for another 20 minutes, and then they gave me a tetanus shot, a whole bunch of stuff, and they flushed it all out. And then there was a Monday. That Monday. I, being stubborn, I went down to the store. I drove, and my leg swelled back up, so I had to go back to the emergency room and everything like that. And so I went back down. They thought I was infected, so I had to go see the doctor about 20 minutes away from my house, and they want to do surgery and stuff like that. And they didn't think I had. They thought the knife communicated with my knee, and they thought the joint fluid was all out, stuff like that. And so they stuck in like a needle, 16 gauge needle in my knee to try to get fluid out, and they couldn't get fluid out. So they sent me for an MRI, and there's a whole bunch of stuff. And then went back, and then they took the stitches out. Now I'm fighting with it, swelling back up, it's bleeding a little bit. It's just never going to come to an end, it seems like.
There's like a pocket in there that keeps filling up with blood or something?
Yeah, it's a little blood pocket. Keeps filling up every time I aggravate it. And they want to cut it out.
Yeah.
You might want to.
Oh no, dude, it's like something I'm very conscious of because whenever I'm gutting a deer or something, like where my legs are, because I've heard so many stories of guys doing that whenever you're in a hurry or whatever. You know, we had Mr. James on this podcast a long time ago now, and he had something happen to a friend of his, the hunting guide or something, where he was cleaning an animal in the field and shoved a knife through a artery. And they ended up having to
really made it a lot out.
Yeah, but they were like in Alaska, a remote area, not necessarily, you know, in New York there. But not that you could get pretty remote in New York or really anywhere. You could get remote enough anywhere where you'd be in trouble if you did something to an artery.
I mean, if you sever the femoral artery, I mean, that's almost like a heart shot. I mean, you don't have to worry about anything. You're not gonna make it very long. But you can do a lot of damage with other arteries and blood vessels and stuff. And
it happens fast when it happens.
Oh, I bet. Anyway, well, we're glad you're okay, man. We wanted to get you on here and just so people can be. It's interesting, and also just so people can think kind of twice when they're doing something with a knife. I mentioned it in my Ohio video. I like decided to leave the buck overnight, and a lot of people were